Right, we're going to do a video on confusion, dementia, delirium, and a couple of ideas for helping the person out. So our position at the moment is an elderly mother in a 3-bed house. We have a stair lift fitted. She's recently been in hospital with a heart attack and stent being fitted, but she's come out a little bit confused, possibly delirium, which will pass in the coming weeks and months, or it could be a little bit of dementia setting in. So I just thought we would cover our particular problems and a couple of the things we've got in place to help. We live about 20 minutes away, so we do go over there an awful lot to help out. Well, we've got a few issues. She is no longer happy going upstairs, putting herself to bed at night, and we often get into a problem changing channels on the TV, and use of the phone is also becoming troublesome, with the remote control and the phone being switched around quite often. So getting upstairs, how can we assist with that when somebody is a little bit confused? We've found that talking to her over the phone is not really possible because of getting confused with the remote control for the telly. She needs both hands to move around, so she can't hold the phone up to her ear, and she can't always hear properly anyway. So what we did was we bought one of the Echo Show 8s to go in the lounge, so we can now drop in on my account and just talk to her. This is the Echo Show 10 that we've just got, and I'll explain why in a minute. So we had an Echo Show 8 downstairs in the lounge, and then we put another one up in her bedroom, and we can drop in from wherever we are on my account to the lounge or upstairs and just check on her. And we have found that we can talk to her over the show in the lounge and get her ready, turning things off, getting ready for bed, and we can talk to her and she can hear it all the way out of the lounge into the hallway. She can hear it going up the stairs to about the halfway point. The microphones in these are excellent, so we can hear every single thing she says, but about halfway up the stairs she can no longer hear us. So when she's about halfway up, we then drop out of the lounge one and we drop in on the bedroom one. She can then hear us again, and we can obviously clearly hear her. And between the two shows we can talk to her through everything she needs to do, and eventually get her into bed, and that's it for the night. And that has worked reasonably well. She's had a patch of not really being able to do that either, so we have found ourselves going over every night about 9:30 to get her sorted out for the night. But we hope, as if it is delirium, as that gets better, we hope we can go back to using the two shows and let her do it herself. But we'll see, time will tell. It's early days, only been a month or so, and if it is delirium, and I would advise you to look delirium up, because it's not a well-known condition for your average member of the public. Everyone assumes dementia and Alzheimer's, but delirium is certainly a possibility, as is a urinary infection. Anything like that often causes a state of confusion. So it's beyond the scope of this video, but we've been there and done that as well. So that is really covering us to drop in upstairs, downstairs, talk her through whatever she might be a little stuck with. The next problem was, actually let me just say one other thing. Because we can drop in on this any time and she has to do nothing, we don't need to use the phone. She doesn't need to pick up the phone. She doesn't have to worry about if she's pressing the green button, the red button to turn it off. It just removes that totally from the equation, which is absolutely perfect. That has worked out much better than trying to ring up, dial into her and speak to her, especially if she hasn't turned the phone off and she's just laid it down somewhere and you can't get through. That is really frustrating, and if we've got the slightest hint of any problem, we then have to drive over there. But this solves that problem completely. She obviously has a full monitor and a monitored alarm, so if she does fall over, a call centre is notified and they will contact us and the neighbours. So we've kind of got everything in place, but we didn't have any other means other than the phone to contact her, and this has worked out perfectly for that. It has removed the necessity for the phone. So the next thing we were having trouble with was getting the TV onto the right channels. Now she's got Freeview on the TV, she's also got a Skybox. She can't use the Skybox, it is too complicated. Once you start getting into triple digit channel numbers, that's kind of out of the window. So she's been watching the Freeview channels pretty much exclusively, but still gets in a mix from most days, to be fair. You've obviously got to type in, say, channel 20, you've got to type the 2 digits within a certain time, otherwise you end up on channel 2 or you might end up on 0. It's been a nightmare, and often she's there using the telephone as the TV remote control, and she just gets frustrated and it just causes problems. So whilst investigating possible solutions, I came across this product. It is a Broadlink special edition RM Mini 3 universal remote control. Now this can be accessed through the cloud, and you can control this from anywhere in the world on your phone. You just download the Broadlink app and you will plug this into a USB charging device, and then you go through the process of pairing this with the Wi-Fi in the house. Your phone then links to this and it adjusts the Wi-Fi name and password, and then you log out of this, and then that will chat directly to your Wi-Fi and broadband. Obviously you have a Broadlink account that is linked to this, and once that's done you can use the app, and I'll just show you it, I think, briefly on here. Don't think there's anything personal going to come up. Yeah, so you have the app and you set up the hub that is listed at the top, and then you can add other devices. So we have the Samsung TV and we have the Sky Q box set up, and when you from just this panel you can turn the TV or the Sky box on and off, but if you want to go into it further, you have various options to control the TV, and it is surprisingly quickly. If we wanted to change the channel, we can drop in, we can change the channel, we can hear it change. Sometimes with Rita will confirm that it's changed, but sometimes not, and we can do all that within, it's almost instant. There's virtually no lag. It's very, very clever system. You can set up routines, so if you wanted to, you can press one button and it turns everything off at night. Just absolutely loads of features. If the particular function or your TV does not appear on its extensive list, it's actually a learning remote control hub as well, so you can literally point the remote control at the hub here and it will learn every button that you want it to learn, and it will map that out correctly. Obviously I can't show you this, it is now mounted at Rita's, but you can see how small this is. It really is a tiny unit, and it will send out infrared from all the way around and out of the top. I have this actually mounted on the wall sideways, so imagine the TV is here in the room and it's going at an angle straight out of this, and that is just mounted above her alarm system and just plugged into a USB charger. That has been an absolute godsend. Amazon, £23. So now we can change the channels, we can turn the TV off. If we drop in on one of the shows and the telly's on and it's up loud, we can mute the volume within a split second, and then we can talk to her more clearly, and that avoids a lot of confusion as well. When we're done, we can unmute the sound with the app, and she's all good to go, and she literally has to do nothing at all. She has a little TV guide. She knows what's on when it's on. We've got the same guide. So if she says, I want to watch Wycliffe or Wycliffe, whatever the program is, we can quickly look it up, see what channel it's on, and drop in and change the channel for her. We could do it without dropping in, but we thought that was a little bit unreasonable and taking over a little bit too much. So we would always drop in and say, oh, do you know that such and such is on in 10 minutes? Would you like us to change the channel over to the right side? And as I say, absolutely fantastic this has been. This will control any infrared device, as long as it has got line of sight. Yeah, it does need a 2.4 gigahertz Wi-Fi signal. You might find that you have to rename your Wi-Fi so it knows it's 2.4 gig rather than 5, but that shouldn't be a problem in most cases. Or if you haven't got 2.4 enabled, just go into your router and enable the 2.4 gigahertz signal. You'll often find that 5 and 2.4 are switched on, but they're both called the same thing. It seems to get into a problem when they're both called the same thing. It just naturally finds the 5G one and just tells you that this won't work. You can continue with the setup, but it's not going to work, so just don't bother. So yeah, and this is also Alexa compatible. We haven't got it working with Alexa because for us there is no need to. So yeah, I can thoroughly recommend this. As I say, it is all done through the cloud and is very, very quick. You're not waiting 30 seconds for a channel change to happen or a mute to happen. It is within a second. Only thing I would say is if you are entering multiple digits, you have to be deliberate and wait just a fraction of a second. So it's 201. If you go 201, it's just a little bit too quick for it. So you might just need to test it out wherever you're setting it up, just to get that timing in your head, and then you'll be able to use it without too many problems in the future. So that's how we've solved a lot of our problems. The reason that I have just today bought this Echo Show 10 is because in the lounge there's still issues getting it onto the right channel. Sometimes the TV will just not register whatever you've pressed, and without seeing it, especially when the volume is muted, if I turn it to Formula 1 and I can't hear Formula 1, I know it's adverts or there's a problem and we're on the wrong channel. But we thought with this we can mute the sound, we can turn the screen using the show the Alexa app, and then change the channel.
By the way, when you have new notifications, you can find them on the home screen.
Yes.
Or
Alexa,
just say,
stop. This is set up to follow me at the moment, but only if it's media. So if we do drop in on Rita and it's been knocked, out of the way like that, as soon as we drop in, it will spin round to its home position and then monitor her face and move around. It's very clever. And you can also restrict the movement. So if you wanted it to go there to there, you can set that up. I've already gone through that in this particular setup, and it's got the full range of movement. But you can tuck this into a corner and only allow restricted movements. The tilt is obviously manual, a good range, almost flat there, up to, I don't know how many degrees that is. It must be nearly 45 degrees. But yeah, very nice, and we'll have it probably at that angle so we can see the TV through the 13 megapixel camera, and then we can just turn it back to Rita. But that's why we've gone for this. It's very expensive, $239.99 from Argos, same price in Amazon, but Amazon haven't got any in stock till later this month, or even into June, depending on what colours you want and things like that. God knows why Argos have got them and Amazon haven't. So yeah, that's what we have done. Obviously it's pretty tiring for us. Debbie goes in to see her mum in the morning. We've got carers going in the morning and lunchtime. We can't get carers in at the right time in the evening, and we can't get carers at the right time at night at the moment. Care companies are a bloody nightmare. I'm sure everybody else that's perhaps come across this video in a similar situation to us have found that. They will not tie themselves down to times. They'll tell you in a face-to-face meeting, yes, we can be there at 5 o'clock, and get you to sign that contract, but you will often see that the actual times are not specified. They will simply say morning, lunchtime and afternoon calls are booked, and we found them going in at I think it was about 4:30 to do her evening meal, which is an hour and a quarter too early. Fortunately we hadn't signed the contract, and as soon as we realised what they were up to, we knocked that on the head. She's diabetic and has to have evenly spaced correct meals, so going in an hour and a half early was not acceptable. So yeah, massive problems getting care in place. And so yes, as I say, Debbie will go in the morning, Debbie will go in the early evening when she finishes work, and now we're both going back at night as well to put her to bed. It is knackering, but doable at the moment. For how long, I don't know. But with these things in place, as the confusion eases, we can certainly hopefully go back to using the Echo shows to get her to bed, save us driving over there each night at 9:30 or whatever. So that's it really. Yeah, if anyone's got any other tips for delirium and dementia, Alzheimer's help, with this sort of practical thing, then let me know. I'm interested in any ideas like this that can help out. Light switches we can't control at the moment. They're just on-off switches everywhere. I really don't know whether you can get Alexa controlled light switches or not. Something we'll perhaps look into. And so that's it really. Just hope that might be useful, or give somebody some ideas about what you can do to control the TV, things like that, and how you can drop in, which is much easier than using the phone. We haven't explained how she can drop in on us. This is really a one-way system at the moment. We don't need being called in in the middle of the night. So she will phone if there's an emergency. So yeah, hope that was helpful.